Hi, I'm Brian Robertson here to welcome you to the fall edition of the Rutherford County Magazine. Today we'll talk about how the Rutherford County government manages stormwater and streams throughout the county. Next, we'll talk about the past and future of an area of downtown Murfreesboro known to some citizens as the Bottoms. So sit back and enjoy this edition of Rutherford County Magazine. Clean water is very important, especially for the citizens of Rutherford County. That's why it's so important to have an agency that's dedicated to the task of keeping the county's waterways clear and clean.
Rutherford County is part of the Stones River watershed. Everything in Rutherford County kind of drains to one point. It runs from south to north into Percy Priest Lake. So everyone is affected by what's happened upstream of them. All the trash and all the pollutants all end up in one place, which is where we get our drinking water. So as far as the quality goes, it's very important to be taking care of our streams. As far as development goes, we really do have to pay attention to pre and post-development runoff rates. That means how much water will leave a site after it's been developed and how it looked before it was developed. Because if we don't, you can see flooding problems in nearby neighborhoods where you didn't see a lot of water before, you'll see it then. One of the requirements set forth by the state, and it's an EPA standard for the Clean Water Act basically, we have to do a visual stream assessment. We do it in the summer so the streams are a little bit drier, and we're really looking for illicit discharges. That means anything that really changes the color of the stream. We're looking for illegal dumping. If it's a good habitat for fish or any other aquatic life, we look at macroinvertebrates, which are like dragonflies, or they could be slugs and things. So it depends on the quality of the water, and you can tell by what's living in it how clean the water is. We get to see where how fast it's flowing in certain areas. We actually use stopwatches and ping pong balls. You know what the distance is between when you hit start and when you hit stop, and if you have time and distance, you can find velocity.
We take visual assessments of the streams in Rutherford County, and we take geographic points of pipe outfalls, representative sites, erosion, exposed pipe, fish barriers, that sort of thing. We record their longitude and latitude, and then the various aspects of the point, so how wide the pipe is, if it has flow, what color it is, does it have an unusual odor. Basically just making sure that everything is as it should be, and that there are no violations or concerning things about the stream that we are assessing.
So once the interns enter in a data point, it's actually real time. This is what shows up on their iPhone or their app that they're using, and it shows up on my computer on our web-based app. And I'm able to actually click the point that they've entered in. This is actually a test point. And take a look at what they've taken a picture of. So whether it's a bridge where water is entering into our streams from our roadways, or if it's just taking a look at what the stream actually looks like. This is a representative site to kind of see if there's good vegetation, there's not a lot of bank erosion, if there's flow. Just gives you a typical snapshot of what each stream looks like. This model shows what happens in pre-development, post-development, and what happens if we don't mitigate the water in a development. When it rains on a grassy area or a wetland or just like a forested area, as you can see, the water gets a chance to soak into the ground and then slowly trickle into our streams. When we develop and we don't mitigate the stormwater, we'll say that over this nice little grassy area we put a parking lot. Let's see here. What happens when it rains the same amount of rain? You can take a look at what happens
the water doesn't have any place to go but straight into the streams, and we get localized flooding. So one of the things my office does is regulate the floodplain. We would make sure that your house wasn't built in this area, or if it was, that you put in a pad so your house actually didn't get water into its crawl space or into the first floor. The pond will help the water flow out at a lower rate than what we just saw. So the pond fills up and then it slowly releases the water. And then we get back to that normal flow rate that we had pre-development. I find that sometimes education is really the best key to get people to understand, especially you don't realize that mowing up to the bank of your creek could actually be causing, if you're a farmer, your farmland to disappear and sediment going into the creek. A lot of people don't realize because they want to be able to see their creek. Dumping, a lot of times, you know, trash might just pile up on your property and it might not even be yours. So if we can trace it back to who was actually dumping, that's good. Stormwater management is everyone's responsibility. Picking up after yourself. One of the main things that I try to get across to the public is those storm drains in the roads. Nothing that goes down that gets treated. It goes directly into our stream. So if you pour your Coke down that and then toss it into the trash, all of that Coke is ending up here and into the fish that are eating it, and that can be a huge problem. So.
Okay, so we learned some ways that the county keeps our streams clean and ways to avoid flooding with proper building practices within the county. Let's move on to our next topic, which is about a unique area of Murfreesboro known as the historic bottoms.
So the city of Murfreesboro right now is, or really for 2 years, has been working with the public and with consultants to try to envision what the next 20 years hold for us. We know that looking at population growth and the 20 years behind us, that we can expect about 100,000 new residents to move into the city. And we've been thinking about, as we grow, where are those people going to live? Where are they going to go out to eat? Where are they going to shop? Where are they going to go to school? All those things. Right away, we saw that there's a very strong interest in the core of Murfreesboro and people wanting to live and do business downtown, and also people wanting to live where they can easily walk to things. And so downtown's perfect for that. We have a lot of great bones, as they say, a lot of great sidewalks and infrastructure in place, and we feel the need for our downtown to grow. One area that's sort of been neglected, I think, over time has been the area along Broad Street, but also across from downtown on the other side of Broad Street. The only name that we really, looking back historically, the only name for this area that we could find was the bottoms.
They call it the bottom, and we was really unified in the bottom. I can remember that. And we played from one yard to the other. Everybody knew the other mother. And it was very much integrated, and we had gardens that we would share with each other. My mother always would have a, garden in her yard, and one of the neighbors would come over and want somebody to garden, they could get it. It wasn't as bad as people thought it was. At least we didn't see it that bad. We thought we had everything. That was good. It was taught that what you have is yours, and you appreciate it, use it, and be kind. During the time, like it started raining, my father would always get us ready. I'm going to tell you, when he worked in the bottom too, right across the street. And he would mostly be gathering things up. Okay, if you have a dresser, he had the ladders and put wood planks right there to put our furniture up there, our beddings, so it wouldn't get wet. When it started raining heavy, that's when my father would get us ready to go to our grandmother lived farther. If you go on the corner of Vine and Front Street, now it wasn't as low there as it was where we lived. And that's where she would live, and we would go there every time it started raining hard. When the water started rising, everybody would be moving to relatives or someplace like that. But my father would always start ahead He helped other people too, but he always get us packed up, and we would go down to our great-grandmother's house.
Today, we're trying to overcome really a lot of what happened in the past, and where that area of town has been kind of segregated from the rest of downtown. Now we want it to be a part of downtown. So we're doing this land use study to find out from a couple different perspectives. One, from a market economic perspective, what is possible, but also from a public visioning perspective. What do our citizens want and what would they like to see in this area of town? We know that waterways are amenities. That's one reason why, as often as we can, as we build the greenway, we try to build it along the river or along a creek. People enjoy walking and walking along that. They like going places that have river walks and things like that, communities that have that. So we think we have the potential here. We have Murphy Spring close to the Discovery Center, and we have Lytle Creek, which is already open. We even have a section of Town Creek that's open that runs through Cannonsburg. Now we just want to connect, we want to daylight the creek and connect what's already there all the way over to Discovery Center and run the greenway along it. So you would literally be able to walk along the greenway all the way from closer to where the Bridge Over Broad project is, all the way through over to Cannonsburg. This land use study is actually not just gathering ideas, but it'll allow us to test out those ideas. We have seen a tremendous outpouring of support for the 2 downtown studies that we're doing. I think it shows that there really is a lot of energy right now and momentum around downtown. Just like we thought from the beginning, people want to live downtown. They want downtown to be more of a destination. And as much as they love the way it is today, they just want more of everything. They want more restaurants, more things to do, more places to hear music, more places to socialize and come together for community events. I think the best way that we found to communicate to the public is through Facebook. So we've created a Historic Bottoms Study Facebook page where they can go on. That's probably the best way for you to get most up-to-date information on the progress of the study and also information when we have our next meeting.
Well, that wraps up this edition of Rutherford County Magazine. I want to thank everyone who was a part of this program, and I also want to thank you, the viewer, for tuning in and joining us. If you would like to know more about Rutherford County government, please visit our website at www.rutherfordcountytn.gov. Again, thanks for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you the next time here on Rutherford County Magazine.